So I hope you were successful or you found it interesting to look into these three different um, exercises or three different parts of the exercise of this case study. Let's have a look at the possible solution for this. Think of the matrix organization, the core 3 model and the project types. So we start with the matrix organization. Well, here you have a few examples. A functional organization typically is a factory, a production facility, something going on continuously. And that is a very classical functional organization because we don't manage the activities as projects. Even though I must say that normally also in factories you do find the projects, and you find a lot of projects because there could be improvement projects, introducing new machines, etc. But the actual ongoing activity is run in a functional classical organization. In a balanced matrix organization, well, typically product development going on here. We have projects going on where we develop new products or new solutions. And that can be ongoing continuously, and every time we start up a new development, we start up a new project. So this can happen in any company, really. And it's a very classical way of working in many organizations, in most organizations actually. Actually, strong matrix organization is basically the same. But here, as I said before, we also have then a well-functioning PMO, Product Management Office, working together here, where we have the competence center where the project managers are organized, and they together ensure that we continuously develop a better product culture also. They have a common ways of working, so all the product managers, all the projects are managed in a common way to make it more efficient. So it's basically the same then as in the balanced matrix one with the product development unit, for example, then in any company. But it could also be a development unit then with maybe have improvement projects and so, for example, as I said before, even in a factory. The fully productized one, a typical example is actually a law firm, even though maybe they don't always talk about projects in a law firm, but you can imagine that each case that they have, it is like a project. So here we would see then a fully productized organization. It could also be a small company, startup, where we have one or two or three projects going on and nothing more. So the full focus on develop a new product. We don't care about anything else, only develop this new solution or this new product. And also it could be, I've seen that several times in reality also, that even in a big company, a big international, multinational company, that we set up a projectized temporary organization to develop a new product or solution. It can be a very big one, maybe with hundreds and even thousands of people, but only focused on one thing for a limited time, 1 year or so, that to develop something new here. And then it could be that we dismount this unit again and people go back to their normal organization. So this could be the solution for this exercise. If you look into the core 3 one, here I put some generic things. I mean, this is very individual, but I think this could be quite generic, and it can give you some ideas in reality also. So the sales driver typically would be then the sales director, the key account manager, or the account manager in the organization. Then we could have for the solution driver, a solution architect, the product owner, the development team leader could be the solution driver, depending on the situation. As project drivers, we would have the project manager or someone at least with that competence in project management. It could be the one that will manage the project afterwards. I mean, if you think about the sales phase and then the continuation. It could be the PMO manager for some projects, and it could also be a program manager that will only act then in the sales phase or also continue during the execution phase. The same way of thinking I think we can have them for the service driver if we then have this extended core 3 or core 4 we call it sometimes also, then a service delivery manager, a service manager, or maybe a service management office manager like a SMO similar to a PMO. So they could be the ones that manage the products, well, manage the services here, and act then is this in the different roles as the taking on the core three roles when we start up a new project or a new initiative if you already or only still in the sales phase. Then let's talk about the types of projects here, starting with the classical structured one. So here we have some examples then or text about it, and then we see the same also for agile and hybrid. So structured project is a project managed using product management best practices, including, for example, the 10+1 knowledge areas, business analysis, etc., as we have seen so far in this course. So in the blue area then here in our model, the GPMM model. And thanks to this good management, it's to ensure we deliver on time with the desired scope and the quality, and then within budget. So basically any type of project where it's reasonably clear and stable and well-defined outcome and scope for the project. So of course there can be changes, we will handle it then with change requests and so, but it's fairly stable, the scope, so we know more or less what we are going to do. And there are lots of projects that are like this. A lot of people you talk about agile and so, but we don't need to follow that much these agile ways of working because the scope is quite fixed and quite well known. And then how we do it, yeah, we have checklists and structured ways of working, as we will see in this course, or have seen in this course, and we will see also in the continuing courses. If you want to read more about this, you could also actually, for example, look into our manual, the GPMM manual, which could help you here with checklists and so if you want to know more about it. Agile projects then. Well, typically it is then when we don't have the scope is not that clear. So a fully so-called agile projects are maybe typically small projects organized in only one or a few teams, or as a part of a program or a hybrid project. You will see a hybrid project in the next one. And then these agile projects, they could be using the methods as Scrum or Kanban, for example, maybe two most famous ones. So typically, software development of smaller products and systems like games in typically one or cross-functional team as only one team. It could maybe be a few teams. But if you start to have several teams, you need a lot more coordination and so. And then we would actually recommend to do the next one, the hybrid way of working, also then using structured product management as a part of the ongoing activities also, or the activities of the project. It could, in this case, also we could see maintenance activities or maybe change and transformation activities. Agile ways of working are really good when it comes to implementing change, implementing new things, changes in the way of working. Because here we need to, there is a lot of uncertainties when we talk about change. And so agile ways of working, going step by step, sprint by sprint, can be a very, very, very good way of working to achieve what we finally want to change in the organization. Also here we could use checklists then for agile projects and also in the pre-sales activities to ensure we deliver what we need to do by the end also and have happy customers with the best, most valuable outcome. Finally, hybrid then. Well, it's a combination then of the two. So typically, I think for lots of activities, this is maybe the way of working we should consider nowadays. Because most organizations operate in an uncertain environment, and we need still to be very competitive when it comes to time, cost, quality, and everything. So we need to be able to be very flexible with the scope, but we still need also have to have a very good control of the financials, the quality, the customer satisfaction, communication, and all the things, the 10+1 knowledge areas. So the combination of the agile ways of working with the structured ways of working in project management is really maybe in most cases the best way of managing our projects. So for example, we have cases then of large and complex software and product development projects, change and transformation, customer development projects. So this different types where we typically can use the best from the structured or waterfall way of working with the best from agile ways of working. So hybrid projects is a very good solution for, yes, as I just said, most cases. So the overall life cycle for the project is the same then as a structured project. But then in the yellow areas, as you can see here in the picture also, in the yellow areas we can see then the teams working in, well, it can be different ones. Some teams might be using Scrum, another one be using Kanban. Other teams maybe even in the classical structured way of working. So depending on the particular aspects that every team needs to consider, they're working one way or the other. But then on the overall life cycle, on the overall management of the product, we work in the normal way of working with using then the 10+1 knowledge areas in the blue area, and also the red area, of course, to make decisions and so. So here then, to manage this, we will consider then everything we have then from a structured project and a checklist for that, but also then the agile ways of working. Because like that we can probably then get the best way out here, the most value out of it, best flow here through the organization also, but still have a good control over costs, communication, the scope in general, everything. So in general, I would say that this is the most recommended way of working using these hybrid projects. This is, yeah, in most projects, the best way of working nowadays. All the way from pre-sales, say here pre-sales, until the end of the customer project. Thank you.